Thank you and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Oxnard's Planning Commission special meeting for Thursday, October 7th, 2021. Following this portion, we will have our regular agenda. Quick housekeeping item. In accordance with Assembly Bill 361, members of the commission, public, and staff will be participating via teleconference. As shown on the agenda and online, please email all written public comments to planning@oxnard.org. Those wishing to speak may visit oxnard.org/city-meetings to fill out the speaker form or by calling 805-385-7878 by 3 p.m. the day of the meeting. During the meeting, a 3-minute opportunity will be given after each item and after each public comments for additional members to participate. Members are requested to email planning@oxnard.org or submit the speaker form on the city's website. When participating in the meeting, please keep your microphones muted until your turn to speak. For my colleagues, please use the raise hand feature when you wish to speak. Once you have been called on, please then click the hand again to lower. Because the meeting is electronic, all votes will be done by roll call. Lastly, for presenters, when needing to advance to the next slide, please clearly state next slide. So that will conclude our housekeeping item. Mr. Kolwitz, did I miss anything now that we have a new process?
He'll be right at the mic in just a brief moment. He had to step away for a second.
No problem. Or Mr. Rosell, if you can tell me if I missed anything. Thanks for the process.
Chair Chavez, you have explained it very well. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and go to our Madam Secretary to establish our quorum.
Chair Chavez,
Here.
Vice Chair Ovejo,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez,
Here.
Commissioner Meyer,
Here.
Commissioner Nash,
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. So we only have one item during this special session is on our consent agenda. Its subject is the adoption of a resolution authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Planning Commission of the City of Oxnard. The recommendation that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Planning Commission in accordance with Assembly Bill 361. Mr. Kolwitz or Mr. Rosell, would you like to add any additional information to this?
Chair Chavez, I'll chime in here very briefly. So commissioners, as you're all aware, during all of COVID, we've been flexing with different regulations allowing us to have our virtual meetings. And in the most summary fashion, the executive order that the governor previously signed allowing us to hold virtual meetings expired at the end of last month. It so happens that the governor signed AB 361 into law the day of your last meeting. And this is the first meeting since it's been signed into law. So in order for us to continue having virtual meetings, we need the Planning Commission to ascertain that the emergency that allows us to have virtual meetings is continuing. And in addition, we need to make that same finding every 30 days. This item will be seen, I'm assuming, a few times by you as we're moving into the future. In addition, one other thing for all of you to know is our chambers, our council chambers are still under construction at this point in time. So I don't have a home necessarily for all of us to land in as well. So with that, staff is encouraging adoption of the resolution so we can continue having our virtual meetings. And with that, I don't have any other comments and we're available for you if you do.
Thank you, Mr. Kolwitz, for that. Commissioner Nash.
I move the recommended action.
Thank you. Vice Chair Rejo.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second to adopt the resolution to be in accordance with Assembly Bill 361 and to continue our teleconference meetings. Are there any discussion on that motion? Vice Chair Rejo.
Thank you, Chair. I do have a question for Ms. Roselle. I understand that obviously this is a special meeting this time. The next time, if and when we do have to pass a resolution in regards to Assembly Bill 361, will it be included in our regular meeting or will there be another special meeting prior to our regular meeting? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that question. Because of the short time period in which staff had to put together these items, we did not make the deadline, the 3-day deadline under the Brown Act for posting this item. So we called the special meeting to ensure we could comply with state law. Going forward, this will be incorporated as part of the regular agenda.
Thank you for that. Any additional comments?
Chair Chavez, this is Scott Kolbitz with just one very brief one. I just wanted to confirm that we do not have any public speakers that have signed up to speak on this item.
Oh, yes. So Madam Secretary, we don't have any public comments for this item. But because of AB 361, it allows for our participants, our attendees, to use the raise hand feature to be actually called on during the meeting. And if you're calling in, it's, I believe, *9. And I don't see any, so then we'll go ahead and move to the vote. Again, it's been moved by Commissioner Nash, a second by Vice Chair Rejo. Madam Secretary.
Commissioner Nash,
Aye.
Vice Chair Weho,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Chair Chavez,
Aye.
a motion passes.
Thank you for that. We will now adjourn our special session and move into our regular agenda. Madam Secretary, can we establish the quorum for our regular agenda, please?
Chair Chavez,
Here.
Vice Chair Wejo,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez,
Here.
Commissioner Meyer,
Here.
Commissioner Nash,
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Yes.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We'll now move into our next item, which is our Pledge of Allegiance. If you can all rise and join me by placing your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, for that. We'll go ahead and move into our next item, which is public comments for items not on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to address the Planning Commission regarding any item not on the agenda, but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission may do so at this time. However, the commission cannot take action on any items presented during public comments and will be referred to the commission's secretary. All public comment speakers will have 3 minutes. Madam Secretary, just confirming that we did not have anybody by the 3 p.m. deadline request to speak at this time, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I will pause for a moment to allow any of the attendees, if they wish to provide any public comments, to use the raise hand feature located at the bottom. Sometimes it's in the reactions, or for any person calling in to use, again, I believe it's *9 to raise the hand. So I'll just pause for a brief moment.
And Chair Chavez, this is Scott Kolbitz, if I may. Because of AB 361, we actually are running the clock at this point in time for a 3-minute allocation, if you will, for individuals to contact us to see if they would like to speak on items not on the agenda. So at this point in time, This is going to be the unusual time, I think, in some of our agendas, as we aren't going to be allowed to deliberate really on items, but we need to wait for the public to give them their opportunities to speak.
I appreciate that, Mr. Kowitz. So we'll allow the time to go. Again, it's for 3 minutes, and any member of the public that's watching. Again, if you would like to participate this evening for items not on the agenda, you may email our Commission Secretary at planning@oxnard.org or by visiting the city's website, oxnard.org/city-meetings to fill out the speaker form. Those are being monitored by our staff to ensure that you have the opportunity to speak on items not on the agenda.
And we're a minute 45 into the 3-minute time period here. We'll keep everyone apprised. And before we move on, we'll confirm that we're at the end of those 3 minutes. And at that point in time, double check if we received any requests. Members of the Planning Commission, please know that for each item that we have on the agenda, we're going to be doing the same thing. So thank you for your patience to allow public participation.
Thank you for that, Mr. Kowitz. So how about those Dodgers? What a game yesterday, right? I might have to start dancing during these 3 minutes or something just to fill up the time.
Chair Chavez, which agenda item is this under?
This is comments not on the agenda. So I think speaking about the Dodger game is okay.
Okay, and we're almost at 3 minutes at this point in time. We're at 2:50 at this point. So Dee, if we can get ready to check. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and we'll call it at this point. And okay, and in that 3-minute pause, we have not received any items for this particular item. So Chair, at your call, we can go ahead and move on to the next one.
I appreciate that, staff. So we'll go ahead and end that item and move on to our next item, which is our consent agenda. Approval of our minutes from our September 16, 2021 meeting. Commissioners. Commissioner Connolly.
Quick question. Do we need a motion before discussion, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I move to approve the minutes as written.
Unless you are making changes to it. If there was something that needed to be changed, you can go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, there was a minor amendment. So on E2, my comment on E2, I did not know the applicant Lauren Fontaine. I knew one of the speakers on the screen, Christy Turner.
Okay.
We'll make that edit then. So Christy Turner.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. I just realized that I did not receive the minutes in my agenda packet, so I will be abstaining.
Okay.
And I apologize for that oversight.
No problem. Any additional edits or revisions that need to be made? Seeing and hearing none, I'll go ahead and move the action if we have a second. Vice Chair Rejo.
I second, Chair.
Thank you for that.
And Chair Chavez, just to make sure that the action is being moved with the edit that Commissioner Conley requested to item E2.
Yes, with the edit from Commissioner Connolly, it will be moved. So it's been moved and seconded, moved by the chair, seconded by the vice chair for the approval of our September minutes. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, if we can have a roll call, please.
Chair Chavez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Owejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes,
Commissioner Lopez,
Abstain?
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Abstain?
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and move into our next item, which is our ex parte declarations for public hearing items. Vice Chair Rejo.
Thank you, Chair. Based on the agenda as distributed and subsequently amended, I will recuse myself on agenda items F3 and F4 due to 18 U.S. Code Section 203 and 18 U.S. Code Section 205. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly.
So about a month ago, September 1st, I had a conversation with the somebody that acts as a security consultant on the behalf of the applicant for FGH. He just basically asked about how the planning commission meetings go, and I advised him to please rewatch a meeting where we discussed cannabis issues at a meeting. And he's a family friend of mine. So quick question for council. Would I be able to participate in discussion on this and then recluse myself from voting, or what do you advise?
In this situation, just the fact that he's a family friend would not constitute a conflict. I just want to confirm with you that you have no financial relationship with him. Is that correct?
No, and it's not the applicant, it's just a security consultant.
Okay, no, that would not represent a conflict. You have disclosed it, so it is there on the record, so you may absolutely participate in that item.
Perfect, thanks for clarification.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Meyer.
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Nash.
Nothing to declare?
Thank you. Commissioner Sanchez.
None.
Thank you. I will just note that one of the applicants for item F3, I'm not really sure how to put this, is a friend on Facebook, but that's as far as the extent of it goes. There is no further communications other than that. No talks about planning commission, no talks about the cannabis. And I am in a position to be able to be unbiased and viewing every item and information that's presented by the applicant team as well as from our staff. With that, that concludes our ex parte declarations. So what I would actually like to do is go to Mr. Colwitz for a quick announcement in regards to 2 items on our agenda. Mr. Colwitz.
And Chair Chavez, members of the commission, thank you. So wanted to acknowledge items F3 and F4 today on your agenda. For the benefit of the record, F3 is the FGH Retail Services Commercial Cannabis business being proposed at 2320 North Rose Avenue. And then item F4 is the HPC Oxnard commercial cannabis business being proposed at 360 West Esplanade Drive. We sent out a revised agenda after recognizing that the addresses for those 2 entities were not included in the original agenda that we posted on September 30th. And while we believe that we have complied with the Brown Act and public noticing requirements, as all of our public notices that were published on site, published in the newspaper, and mailed out to those that were within 300 feet of those properties. Well, we feel like all those notices were proper out of an abundance of caution and conservative approach to public meetings, make sure everyone is aware of what's happening. We're making a recommendation that we continue those 2 items to a date certain, and essentially through a special meeting is what we're going to recommend to the Planning Commission. What that means for tonight, just in terms of how we will facilitate those items, is we will open up the public speakers or allow public speakers to present questions and or comments to the Planning Commission. But we're going to request that planning commissioners don't engage in deliberations at all tonight or even their questions. Let's reserve all of those for the item to actually appear before the Planning Commission at the date certain meeting we continue it to. So anyone who has signed up or joins us through the AB 361 procedures would be allotted 3 minutes apiece to speak to us about these particular items. So with that, I'm going to look at the council to see if there's anything else to add today. Okay, and we don't have anything else to add to that. I do see that there's some hands that were raised by the Planning Commission. So Chair Chavez, I turn it back to you. We're here to answer any questions that you may have for us.
Thank you for that, Mr. Colwitz. And just to confirm that because these items are being recommended to be continued, there won't be any applicant presentations tonight, correct?
That is accurate. If applicant team members did sign up, they would be allotted their 3 minutes, the same as everyone else, but it's not a formal applicant presentation.
I appreciate that. Commissioner Nash. You're on mute, sir. It's too early for this.
I even had my cup of coffee. Well, I apologize. Thank you, Chair Chavez. Mr. Colwitz, the date certain is next Wednesday at 6.
So we did suggest that as a date, but we did not actually hear back from all planning commissioners. So at this point in time, if we can, Chair Chavez, with your leadership, if we can go ahead and confirm if.
And that is the purpose of my comment. I will be able to attend. So I didn't apply online, but I'm alerting staff now.
Okay, so we'll have to, what we're gonna do right now, 3 dates were presented by staff. The 11th, which was a Monday. Let me just go to that calendar real quick. So Monday, the 11th was one option. Wednesday, the 13th was the second option. And then the third option was Thursday, the 28th. Again, the 11th and the 13th is next week, whereas the 28th is about 2-3 weeks out.
And Chair Chavez, I'm going to jump in there for a quick second. The 11th and the 28th, actually, we can't do. There are conflicts with other meetings which are happening. So the system essentially is being used for broadcasting, which leaves October 13th as the desired date for us.
Okay, so while that, I should have just let you do it, Mr. Colwitz. But okay, so we're looking at the 13th then. Vice Chair Rejo.
Thank you, Chair. Question for staff. Is there a reason why we're not considering adding these agenda items to the 21st regular meeting? Thank you.
Vice Chair Oejo and members of the commission, that's a great question. The agenda for the 21st already has 4 items on it. And we would be worried that adding 2 additional items is going to be too much for everyone collectively. Not only the commissioners, but also members of the public, especially if things start stretching late into the evening. So a special meeting for these 2 items makes the most sense to us.
Thank you, Mr. Colwitz.
Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. As per my response to the email that he sent regarding the 13th, my preference would be that we could make it at 6:30, as I have a meeting that is slated to end at 6, but will likely need to go over, and that would give me some time to transition from one meeting to the next.
Okay. Staff, in hopes of trying to accommodate everyone, during a special meeting, are we allowed to adjust the start time?
Yes, you are able to do that. It can start at any time you select. So 6:30 would absolutely be fine if and when the Planning Commission votes to continue the meeting. It would be continued to October 13th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, I appreciate that. Vice Chair Rejo.
Thank you, Chair. Parliamentary inquiry. Do we intend, although I'm not saying I recommend or expect, but do we intend to make a motion right now in regards to moving agenda items F3 and F4, or will we wait until we reach agenda items F3 and F4? And I say that in particular because if a motion is made on one or both of these items, I intend to recuse myself if that's made. But since we're just informally talking, I feel that it's okay, but out of abundance of caution, I intend to recuse myself. Thank you.
And staff can correct me. I believe we were just informally discussing the action, seeing how we haven't even reached those items yet. But staff, if you can correct me, that we're only discussing about making a special meeting on the 13th, not necessarily taking action to continue those two items, right?
Chair Chavez, that is correct. As we discussed earlier, Mr. Colwitz discussed earlier, the plan is to open the public hearings, allow public testimony 3 minutes each, and then continue the item. So this is the informal discussions to determine the availability on a date certain.
And just to confirm, if members of the public spoke tonight, they will still have the opportunity to speak once again at the special meeting, correct? There's nothing preventing them from being able to speak twice.
That is absolutely correct. At the continued meeting, there will be, for both of the cannabis items, a applicant presentation, and then members of the public will be able to speak in response to that presentation or other information that they want to present to the Planning Commission for its consideration.
Okay, sounds good. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. So is this a motionable item?
Through the chair, if I may, it could be a motion items, but once again, staff's recommendation is that there be a formal determination if there's a majority of the members of the Planning Commission that are available on October 13th. And then once we get to items 3 and 4, once we have taken public comment, then staff's recommendation would be that the Planning Commission make a motion to continue each of these items to the date certain that is selected.
So hold off any motion until items F3 and F4 is your recommendation.
That is correct. Although we can either do it now or we can wait till F3 to determine what date would work for a majority of the members of the Planning Commission.
Well, I would like to clear it up right as soon as possible. So I would make a motion that we continue F3 and F4 to 6:30 p.m. on the date of October 13th, which is a Wednesday night. I believe that is what the consensus is.
Through the chair, if possible, we wanted to give the members of the public the opportunity to provide comment before they were continued. So if we could just get we can do two things, either just get an informal head count or wait until item F3 comes up to make that formal motion once the public's had a chance to speak.
Okay, great. Whatever your pleasure is.
I will just, we'll just do a quick thumbs up if the 13th Wednesday is okay with everyone. Thumbs up if we're okay with that, a blank consensus. Okay. All right, so there is a consensus for that for the October 13th, which is a Wednesday next week. So when we get to that F3, F4 items, we'll go ahead and take that official motion to continue those items. So we'll go ahead and move into our first public hearing item, which is project name line 8109 removal project planning and zoning permit number 21-400-02 coastal development permit. A request to remove a 402-foot segment of an existing abandoned Southern California Gas Company 20-inch high-pressure natural gas transmission pipeline 8109 adjacent to the Mandalay Generating Station. The project is in part located within the city of Oxnard at 205 and 393 North Harbor Boulevard, also known as the Mandalay Generating Station. The entire project is within the coastal zone. The central portion of the project along North Harbor Boulevard is within the road right away. The portion within the County of Ventura is being separately reviewed by the County of Ventura. This is filed by James Chung, Gen On, California. Our city staff person is Joe Pearson II, Senior Planner. The recommendation is to find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA guidelines, section 15302, and adopt the resolution 2021 XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-400-02 coastal development permit subject to certain findings and conditions. As a reminder to the public and my colleagues, this is a pre-recorded presentation is available on the city's website and YouTube channel in accordance with Measure M. I will go to Mr. Pearson if he has any additional information or any staff member that would like to add to this.
Good evening, Chair Chavez and Commissioners. No, I do not have anything to add to the report at this time. I would just like to note that the applicant team is available on the call. We have representatives from Rincon Consultants who was the applicant on this, and then James Trang from SoCal Gas are also available for questions.
Thank you for that. Any commissioners have any questions in regards to this item? Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Great, thank you. And please let me know if my connection is off, and I'll go ahead and turn off my camera and just leave my audio. But I had a couple questions after reviewing the staff report and presentation. So the work to be done, the excavation as well as the redirected traffic along North Harbor Boulevard, it mentioned it's expected to take 38 days with work being done between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And just verification and for public, before 7 after 6 p.m. Norbert will remain open for traffic, correct?
So part of the project, and as in the conditions of approval, the applicant will be providing a traffic control plan. So in coordination with the county and our city traffic engineer, they'll be creating a plan to determine basically how to control traffic. But from discussions with them, the intent is, yes, it would remain open.
Thank you. And second question, in the presentation or the staff report, I mentioned that because both the county and the city have jurisdictional lands over this project, has the county taken action on the matter? I know it mentioned that it was going to be processed concurrently. And so I'm just wondering if they've taken action, and if so, what it was.
Commissioner Lopez, I'm not sure, but we do have the applicant, Jerry Hittleman with Rincon Consultants, who's processing it with the county, so he can jump in and provide additional information.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Dr. Lopez, for that question. No, we have not coordinated with the county at this time. We anticipate that because the pipeline will be in the roadway right of way, it'll be an encroachment permit through the county at this time. So we have talked to them though, but that'll occur afterwards.
Great. Now, thank you for that clarifying point there. And one last question. The staff report referenced encouraging protection of sensitive habitat and referenced a 4,020 square foot, which will be disturbed by the open trench excavation, as well as project, is generally being designed to minimize ground and vegetation disturbance and includes a restoration activities to ensure that the site is restored to maximum extent feasible and or improve upon the existing conditions. So I know that there's going to be a professional or a biology expert who will be also, on site initially, as well as then on to visits. But to the best knowledge at this point, there aren't any threatened species of plants or animals on the site that we know of, correct?
Commissioner Lopez, no, based on the report, we aren't aware of any, but again, we have the applicant and their biologist, I believe, on the call here, so they can respond to that as well.
Yeah, again, thank you for your question, Commissioner Dr. Lopez. I defer to Priya Pratap. She's our biologist on the project, but I believe Joe has answered the question also, but just to verify.
Thank you.
Hi, yes, so there are no special status species present on there, and the vegetation removal is just going to be in a previously disturbed area. So it's all ornamental vegetation, and we have a botanist on the team that will be prescribing the restoration plan, and we'll get into more details about how to seed and restore the trees or anything that we remove.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. That's it for now.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Lopez. As a reminder to members participating in tonight's meeting, please keep your microphones muted at all times until your turn to speak. We'll go to our Vice Chair, Arejo.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. Mr. Pearson, in regards to the removal of the pipeline, can you elaborate on any safety concerns, if any, in regards to the removal? And can you just confirm on the abandonment? I think I'm just a little bit more on edge due to the recent oil spill in regards to Orange County. So I'd appreciate that confirmation and elaboration, if any. Thank you.
Vice Chair Arejo, I think the applicant team may be the best one to respond to that. But we do have conditions in there to have the monitoring or regarding the construction process, and they will be required to obtain encroachment permits and building permits for the removal. So there will be permits and review of the plans for the removal that will be processed and approved by the city. So that would be kind of our way of ensuring that the safety is maintained out there. But the applicant team could also talk to their additional approaches to address that as well.
Yes, again, thank you, Commissioner Arejo. We do have James Twang with Southern California Gas to elaborate a little bit on the construction process if that's what you're looking for, but it would be an open trench, and then I'm sure it would be covered at nighttime when they're not working on it. Thank you.
Vice Chair, did you have any additional questions?
No, I didn't. Thank you, Chair Chavez.
Thank you. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. This question would be for Southern California Gas, and just in general terms, because I know this is proprietary information, how far upstream is the nearest shutoff valve?
Thank you for the question, Commissioner Steve Nash. This is James Chung with SoCal Gas. The nearest valve would probably be the tie-in location that's across the street. That's why we're banning it to that point. That's on the map.
Okay, and so the remaining gas in the pipeline will be captured. It won't be vented to the atmosphere.
The remaining gas that's in the pipe will be repressurized and re-put into the pipe that's we're banning from.
Okay,
so the gas will be purged into the existing lines that are currently carrying gas.
So we don't anticipate any fugitive natural gas escaping into the atmosphere.
We don't anticipate at this moment, but there could be, small emissions leaks depending on where the connection points are.
But nothing that would constitute a hazard.
Nothing would constitute a hazard. But if there is anything happen, the notifications will be given.
Okay, you have emergency notification protocols in place?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional questions for either the staff or the applicant on this item? I just have one, and this is either for staff or for the applicant. The reasoning for the removal of this pipe is the result of the shutdown of the generating station at Mandalay, correct?
Chair Chavez, from discussions with the applicant, essentially the pipeline is no longer needed to serve the generating station due to its abandonment. So yes, in a way, it's being triggered by the abandonment there.
Okay, sounds good to me. Madam Secretary, just to confirm, we did not have any members of the public sign up for this item, correct?
We did have 2 people sign up, but they are not in the call.
For F1? Okay, so in accordance with, once again, with AB 361.
Chair Chavez?
Yes,
Yeah, we didn't have any public comment sign up for F1.
thank you, I appreciate that. Once again, in accordance with AB 361, we are going to pause for 3 minutes to allow any members of the public to once again participate or provide comments for this item. Again, this is item F1, which is a removal of line 8109. Planning and zoning permit number 21-400-02. Members of the public can request to speak on this item by emailing the commission secretary at planning@oxnard.org or by visiting the city's website to fill out the speaker form. And staff has the timer on top, and we'll go ahead and begin the 3 minutes.
Chair Chavez and members of the commission, thank you for collectively leading us and working with us through this this process again. We appreciate everything that you're doing here.
Thank you for that, Mr. Kowitz. It's definitely a team effort as we navigate these ever-changing times of ours.
While we still have over a minute left, no one has signed up as of yet.
Thank you, Mr. Kowitz, and thank you to the public as we are going through this new process. So we appreciate your patience. Thank you. That concludes the 3-minute pause. Staff, did we have any members request to speak on this item?
No, we do not have any.
I appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and move to our commissioners for any deliberations that they may have. Commissioner Nash.
Chair Chavez, thank you. I'm prepared to make a motion whenever you're ready to accept one.
Is there any deliberations from any of the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none. Commissioner Nash, go right ahead.
I move that we find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA, and that we adopt resolution 2021-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-400-02.
Thank you. Commissioner Meyer.
I second the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve staff's recommendation to find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to California Environmental Quality Act Guidelines, Section 15302. Adopt a resolution 2021-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-400-02 coastal development permit subject to certain findings and conditions. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none. Madam Secretary, if we can have the roll call, please.
Commissioner Nash,
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Vice Chair Weho,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Chair Chavez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and move into our next item. Project name Lockwood 2 Parcel Map Waiver Planning and Zoning Permit number 21-300-03 Tentative Parcel Map for a Parcel Map Waiver. A request to subdivide an existing undeveloped 6.68 acre parcel located in the southwest corner of Lockwood Street and Outlet Center Drive into two lots of net size 3.08 and 3.60 acres within the Business and Research Park zone. No structural development or infrastructure improvements are proposed or required under this application. This is filed by Mark Ross on behalf of Sunbelt Enterprises, LLC. Staff person is Joe Pearson II, Senior Planner. Recommendation is to find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review, subject pursuant to CEQA guidelines, section 15061B3, and adopt a resolution 2021-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-300-03 for parcel map waiver, subject to certain findings and conditions. Once again, this is a pre-recorded presentation on the city's website in accordance with Measure M. We'll go to Mr. Pearson if he has any additional information to provide.
Good evening, Chair Chavez and Commissioners. No, do not have anything to add at this time. I would just like to note that the applicant team of Mark Ross and Tom Cohen are on the call if the Commission has any questions. They do not have a presentation for this project.
I appreciate it. Commissioners, any questions to either staff or the applicant, please just say who you're directing your questions to. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. This is for staff. And I noticed on the notice of exemption that the box, no possibility of significant effect was checked rather than categorical exemption, which we typically see. And I was just wondering if you could explain that to me.
Commissioner Nash, so given the scope of the project, the CEQA has basically different types of exemptions. So there are categorical exemptions, but then in addition to that, there's allowances under CEQA where a project basically has no possibility of having an effect on the environment. You can basically use that exemption. So given that this project was essentially just dividing an existing lot without any improvements or other requirements being done, we could find that there were no possibilities of effects happening to the environment. So that's why we decided to go with that exemption under this application.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Nash. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Thank you. And just for clarification, this item right now is just simply to divide the lot, correct? It has nothing to do with an application. I think there was reference to plans for senior housing. But right now it's just literally a matter of dividing the plot land, correct?
Commissioner Lopez, yes, that is correct. Any future projects would be subject to the entitlement and CEQA process at that time. So this is just to divide the lot.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly.
My question and comment is similar to Dr. Lopez is because I know no structural development is proposed. So I'm just wondering what the advantages would be to divide this lot right now versus when somebody comes in and proposes something being built there.
Commissioner Connolly, so this application actually came in before the development application. So the purpose of that, we're basically processing it in that order. So that's why we're moving forward with this project. The follow-up development project is subject, as we indicated in the report, to the adoption of the housing element and the general plan amendment and the zone text amendments that are being processed. So basically for timing, it allows them to move forward with this portion of the project while the remainder of the project is basically waiting for the completion of that process, the housing element process.
Thank you for your clarification.
Thank you. Any additional questions from the commission? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll go ahead and move Mr. Cohen. Staff, quick question. We see that Mr. Cohen is the owner of Sunbelt. He also signed up to speak. Would it be appropriate just to hear him now or to open the public comment portion?
Chair Chavez, I would open it up to the applicant team while they did not have a formal presentation to provide tonight. This is an opportunity for them to speak. Both Tom Cohen as well as Mark Ross are both have joined us tonight. So both of them can speak on part of their application. And then you are correct, we had one other speaker who has already signed up for this item. And then we would open up to the additional 3 minutes for anyone else who would like to speak.
Sounds good to me. So Mr. Cohen, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Chavez and members of the Planning Commission. And a big thank you to staff. I do want to respond to Commissioner Connolly's question. Is a good question. Mr. Ross and I represent the Kavli Foundation, owner of Sunbelt Enterprises. And Sunbelt Enterprises is responsible for subdividing the property. The future applicants who will be proposing projects to you in the not too in the near future are separate applicants. So that's why Sunbelt was responsible for taking on that the task of subdividing in advance, so that there's a saleable property to the subsequent developers. But just wanted to thank you all for your time in entertaining this application. We have reviewed all the conditions that staff has laid before us, and we accept all those conditions, and we look forward to your support this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Mr. Ross, was there anything that you wanted to add or respond to? You're on mute, sir.
And not to just add on to what Tom mentioned, there's two kind of separate things going on. And the Kavli Foundation is a nonprofit in the business of giving away money, and the way they can most sell the best efforts to sell the property is through the subdivision, and And again, as Tom said, the future projects will come on with subsequent applications.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we'll go ahead. Is there any additional questions from the commission? Seeing and hearing none, so we'll go ahead and open the public hearing portion of this item. This is an opportunity for the members of the public to participate. We had two people sign up. Mr. Cohen was one of them. The other one is Nathaniel, who I do not see on the call. So because we've already exhausted those that already signed up, we'll now go ahead and pause for 3 minutes to allow any members of the public to participate in this item F2, Lockwood number 2. It's a subdivision, 1 parcel into 2 parcels. Again, you can email by planning@oxnard.org or visit the city's website. So we will pause for 3 minutes. And again, if any member on the call now wishes to speak, they can also use the raise hand feature. Thank you.
Now, since we're 2/3 of the way through, just wanted to announce we do not have anyone that's signed up. We have 1 more minute to go.
Thank you, Mr. Kovacs. Wonder if next time we can play the Jeopardy music or something that.
We were just having that same discussion, but looking for something that's in the public domain, so we're not going into the copyright infringement of any sort. So if there are suggestions by our planning commissioners or members of the public, send them my way. With that, Dee, do we have anyone that signed up?
No, we don't have anyone.
I appreciate that. So that we will go ahead and close the public hearing portion of this item F2, and we'll go to the commissioners with any deliberations on this item. Commissioners. See, I'm hearing none. I will just say that I'm glad that the parcel isn't being chopped up in a weird configuration. It's a nice, practically in half. So this is happy for me because, you know, we always deal with the traffic management plans that come up with very weird chop ups. So good job to the applicant team on that. That will conclude my comments. Commissioners, is there a motion? Vice Chair Reho.
Thank you, Chair. I move to find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15061B3 and adopt the resolution 2021-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-300-03 for a parcel map waiver subject to certain findings and conditions.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second to approve staff's recommendation to find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, section 15061 B and 3. Adopt a resolution 2021-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 21-300-03 for parcel map waiver subject to certain findings and conditions. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, if we can have the roll call, please.
Vice Chair Owejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Chair Chavez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you for that, and congratulations to the applicant team. So we have come to our last two items, F3 and F4. It was already discussed at the top of our meeting for a continuation. We'll go to staff if they want to make any additional comments before we move any motions.
Chair Chavez, thank you. This is Scott Colwitz chiming in here. We do need to consider both of these items separately. Earlier in this meeting, for anyone that's tuning in now, we had a staff announcement that we're looking to continue these items to a future meeting date, a date certain date. And the Planning Commission, we informally queried them and found that October 13th at 6:30 was a mutually agreed upon time that they would all be available to host a special meeting. So staff's recommendation is being changed, opposed to approval tonight, but a continuance to October 13th at 6:30. For tonight, we have had a number of individuals that have signed up to speak for F3 in particular. Glancing at the list right now, it looks like we're between 10 to 15 items or speakers, just generally speaking. And then for item F4, which again, we'll deal with separately, about 4 for that item. So at this point in time, Chair Chavez, it would be appropriate to formally read this one into the record. And then we can jump into public comments on this item before we look for a motion from the Planning Commission.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. So our next item is F3, project name FGH Retail Services LLC, Commercial Cannabis Business Retail Special Use Permit, Planning and Zoning Permit number 21-516-36. A request to permit the operation of a commercial cannabis retail facility within an existing 23,275 square foot commercial suite of a 92,591 square foot multi-tenant commercial building on a 17.38 acre site located at 2320 North Rose Avenue within the general commercial zone. Proposed development includes tenant improvements, installation of interior walls, partitioning, plumbing upgrades to an existing fire alarm system, security upgrades to the existing building, and installation of a new secure doors, windows, and upgrades to the storefront facade. Cannabis retail operations will be conducted between the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. This is filed by Jeff Zook, and our city staff person is Jose Cole, associate planner. The recommendation, actually, we're gonna go ahead and skip the recommendation on that. And again, it's pre-recorded presentation on the city's website in accordance with Measure M. So we're not going to be taking any questions from our commissioners or any deliberations. So what I would actually like to go ahead and do is open the public hearing portion for this item and take those. So the first person that I have on my list is Christina Zubko, and I apologize if I butchered the last name.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here today on behalf of Friends of Ormond Beach to ask you to grant FGH a license to operate its cannabis dispensary business in the city of Oxnard. Friends of Ormond Beach has met Herb Mitchell, one of the owners of FGH, on February 27th, 2021, when he and 25 of his family and friends came to an Ormond Beach cleanup event. Herb rolled up his sleeves and worked just as hard as all of his volunteers to pick up trash around the Ormond Lagoon. He and his team even brought their own equipment. Herb and his family were born and raised in Oxnard. His family understands the needs of the city. In the past year, Herb expressed to me repeatedly that he was concerned about all the illegal dumping that occurs in the waterways and all around the city of Oxnard, and he indicated that he would be taking out his team to clean up around the city of Oxnard to prevent more trash from getting into the waterways. Because the FGH family has deep roots in Oxnard, the family is well connected, and the family knows professionals working in various fields throughout Oxnard, and they always had an army of volunteers whenever they came to an Ormond Beach cleanup. I know that if I pick up the phone and ask Herb for volunteers, he'll be there to get me the volunteers in an instant. Since the day I met Herb, he expressed his earnest desire to make Oxnard a better city and indicated that should he be granted the opportunity to operate his business in Oxnard, he would do just that. Herb is sincere, down to earth, and approachable. He's an excellent planner and communicator and understands the importance of teamwork and developing networks to find solutions to problems. I urge you to grant FGH a business license to operate in the city of Oxnard. Oxnard needs business owners like Herb Mitchell who want to invest in Oxnard, especially in its wetlands, which need protecting more than ever in light of Orange County's recent oil spill that wiped out the Talbert wetlands. Thank you so much for your time, and you did a great job on my last name.
Thank you for that. And thank you for your comments. So we'll go ahead and move to our next speaker, Sienna Max Samimi. And again, I apologize if I mispronounced the name.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
So in light of the fact that the hearing is going to be continued, the neighboring owners that I represent, as noted in my October 6th, 2021 letter, will withhold public comment until the continued hearing, after having had the opportunity to review and analyze the final versions of the staff report, the proposed planning commission resolution, and the presentation from the applicant. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and move to our next person. Michael Chernis.
Hello.
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, commissioners. Thanks for hearing my comments. I am a legal counsel for FGH, and I speak proudly in support of their SUP application. I've worked closely with the FGH team for 2 years now on both their applications, and I will continue to serve in an advisory role as its regulatory and compliance counsel once it's operational. I just want to echo a few points I made in my letter to the commissioners on October 5th. FGH is an ideal candidate for a dispensary in Oxnard. They are a local equity candidate, majority owned by City of Oxnard residents, most of whom were born in Oxnard. CEO Vanessa Hernandez is third generation Oxnard, went to Oxnard High School, and has worked in government and more recently in hospital administration. Alex Soriano, the CFO, also attended Oxnard High School where he was a sports legend and has worked for Fortune 500 companies. David Garcia, the COO, was also born in Oxnard and has a long history of working in licensed and legal cannabis businesses. FGH also reflects the changing diversity and demographics of the Oxnard community, with the management team being all Latino. 5 of the members of the management team had parents and grandparents that were actually migrant farm workers in Oxnard. And it's a remarkable credit to both the applicants' hard work and the opportunities provided by Oxnard that they're now in a position to operate a dispensary business. They are community-minded people who for years have supported local nonprofits well before becoming part of FGH. You honestly could not script a better cast of local cannabis operators. Its property is a quarter of a mile away from any sensitive use. It's adjacent to Highway 101 and other high circulated access points. And it's located within a quarter of 5 miles of 260,000 residents. It will be one of the largest and most beautiful dispensaries in the state of California. It will help rejuvenate a shopping center that's seen businesses leave in recent years and an increase in crime,
28 seconds.
and increase in crime and nuisance issues. It will honestly bring the community back to the Rose Center. FGH will pour millions of dollars into this property with the help of architect Jeff Sook and help change its appearance and its fortunes. It will provide increased security with the help of former Oxnard detective Curtis Smith and will fit well within this dispensary.
1 second.
Center. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for your comments. We'll go ahead and move to our next person, Stephen Weiss.
Good evening. I'm part of the adjacent owner group that Sina had referred to before, so we'll withhold comments as well until the next hearing.
Okay. We'll move to our next person, Stanley Rothbart.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Yes, hi, my name is Stanley Rothbart. I'm the actual original developer and one of the owners of the shopping center. Mr. Samini has indicated, as he indicated, we'll reserve our comments until the formal presentation at the next hearing. Thank you.
Okay. The next person that I have is Mart. It's just M-A-R-T.
Mart is not in the call.
Okay. So the next one that I have is Art Ramirez.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, great. Chair Chavez, members of the commission, good evening, and thank you for allowing me the time to express my support and appreciation for FGH. My name is Art Ramirez. I was born in Oxnard, proud veteran of Vietnam. I'm also a local minority business owner. My son and I have had a business in downtown Oxnard since 1999. I appreciate local workers, and FGH is led by Oxnardians. Born and raised in Oxnard, living in Oxnard, they come from respectable Oxnard families. They also have kids that attend local Oxnard schools. What's better than to have locals trying to open a local business? Local families opening a local business, hiring local people. In addition, I also support their chosen location off the 101 freeway. It's visible to all. It'll attract other people to visit our city. I believe it will help revitalize the shopping center, which is slightly run down and always seems to be on life support. Heaven knows we do not need another rundown shopping center with empty buildings. Remember, my office is in downtown Oxnard, so I know rundown, empty shopping centers. I also know as others know, it takes hard work to succeed in business. It takes drive, passion, expertise. Another reason I support them. Specifically, I appreciate the extra work that FGH has donated to cleaning Ormond Beach, funding Leditas Campisa's COVID effort, which helps farm workers. My father was a farm worker. As a veteran, I personally appreciate the time and money donated to partners with Mission Fish. They help veterans with therapy and those with PTSD. The city didn't offer them any perks or tax breaks to come to Oxnard. FGH chose to be here. They want to be here. The store will help clean up the location and prevent homeless loitering in the area. With the visibility of security, which evidence proves helps keep surrounding areas safe. I've read that crime almost obsolete in Port Hueneme Green area. FGH has experts with loads of experience in the industry, which
30 seconds left.
Which is definitely a plus in operating a profitable business. In closing, I would agree with your support in your decision to approve their permit. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We'll go to our next speaker, Bobby Martinez.
Hi, good evening. I'm on the road, so let me see if I can pull over real quick, if that's okay.
Yes, it's part of your 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, I'm good to go. All right. So, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'm speaking on behalf of FGH, and I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart because every time that I had a chance to meet the team, whether it be David, Alex, or Vanessa, or anyone else on the team, you know, that they really care about our community. And I think it has to do with the fact that they're from Oxnard, and they contributed a lot in Port Hueneme. Not only did they turn around a business that wasn't doing well, it was our cannabis business that was doing really poorly here in Port Hueneme, and they turned it around, which shows that you guys are going to have a really good business in Oxnard. But at the same time, they've been contributing back to the community with the Little League, and you've already heard that they've been doing a lot of beach cleanups and helping all these other organizations and nonprofits. So I definitely have, you know, give you guys my support for them opening up this cannabis business there in Oxnard. And I have a lot of respect for them all, and I'd be proud for them to open up another business in Oxnard, even if it is some competition with Port Hueneme, because I know that they're really good people, and I know that you guys would be doing a really, really good choice of having them in your city, because like I said, not only are they going to help with your guys' community and their youth, specifically baseball, because I know they love baseball. And so your guys' little leagues are going to be doing well, just like our little leagues. And it's a really good thing for the community, because in honesty, we want to have businesses that want to help our community and also help other businesses. We've been doing collaborations in helping some of the mom and pops and holes in the walls in our city, you know, the ones that we all love, but maybe not all of us know about. And I know Oxnard has a lot of them too. So again, this is from the bottom of my heart, just letting you guys know that these are really good people, and we want them here in our community. We want them here in our city, in our county, and we also want to see them grow. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We'll go ahead and I apologize in advance because I know I'm going to butcher this. Irene de Barracuda. And I apologize. I really do apologize. You can press *6 to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, I apologize for butchering the last name. You have 3 minutes, please.
No problem. That was a great attempt, and you did well. Thanks. So my name is Irene de Barraicua, and I am part of the Líderes Campesinas. It's a statewide network of women farm worker leaders based out of Oxnard. And I'm more coming as a support to the good deeds that I feel members of this team have done for the community and for farm workers specifically, farm worker women in Oxnard that have been in need of guidance at times or support, even farm workers during the pandemic needing more assistance in healthcare related issues, domestic violence, knowing that we have individuals like this to lean back on has been extremely significant and had a big impact on us during these hard times and on our network of farm worker women and their families. Also, not to mention the economic support in terms of helping women grow in their leadership and helping guide them on making their own money. Doing outreach, so sort of worker skills related. So knowing that a business like this is capable of coming to Oxnard and led by Latinos predominantly and good examples, I think it's very important to take advantage of this opportunity and to grant them this opportunity to fulfill this. And I wish everyone good luck, and they have our support. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We'll move to our next speaker, Jeff Sook.
Good evening, Chair Chavez and members of the commission. My name is Jeff Zook. I am part of the applicant team. I am also owner of Coastal Architects. We have proudly held an office in downtown Oxnard for 15 years. I'm also a 25-year resident of the city of Oxnard. I've been working with the FGH team now for over 2 years, and I want to reiterate what other speakers have said. They're great people. You know, not only do they support our city, but they're involved in the city. They are involved in the community. I've witnessed multiple events where they have brought together a team to go out and help the community. I just wanted to spend a few moments here and talk about the design that perhaps you have reviewed and some of the features that we're adding. I want to first start on the exterior and in this shopping center. Our office has designed a beautiful contemporary exterior full of rich, elegant materials. That represents and reflects an interior that's going to be one of a kind. It's going to include a grand lobby, ample seating areas, a stunning showroom, and a local gathering room for outside community events and educational opportunities. I do want to quickly add that the FGH team, as well as our design, fully complies, and we accept all the conditions of approval. This is going to be a one-of-a-kind destination. It's a great location, and it's going to encourage, improve, and increase outside travelers to this great city of Oxnard. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker that we'll go to is Laura McAvoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I join with Mr. Samini, Mr. Rothbart, and Mr. Weiss as part of the representation of the neighboring owners to reserve our comments until the adjourned or reconvened session. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to our next speaker on this one, Jean Bean.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I appreciate that. I have known this group and specifically David Garcia and his sister Maria for many years. And what you are getting is not only great operators who know their community and know their product well, but you're getting people who genuinely love the area and love the community. The volunteer work that they do because they love the community. They're not doing it to enhance their licensing position or anything else. But, you know, most weekends you can see David or Maria out at Santa to the Sea or at Little League or at food drives, at toy drives, at Christmas. These are people who are not only excellent operators, but they're just genuinely great people who love the city and who have deep roots in the city. The other thing I want to point out is that having a dispensary in this shopping center is going to reduce the risk of crime that is currently there. Because as you can see in other places in the community where dispensaries have been put up, the presence of security guards at those dispensaries results in people who would be hanging around and perpetrating petty crimes to move on to someplace else. And that corner of that shopping center in particular is a magnet right now for homeless and also for, you know, petty criminals. And this is going to have a very positive impact on that element because you're going to have security there, additional security there all the time. What you're dealing with here with this group also is literally a premier operating group as a corporation. People who know everything from customer service to how to reach out and engage their customers, how to use data to offer the best offerings to their customers. You're dealing with a very, very advanced group, very highly
25
skilled,
seconds left.
with incredible customer service that deeply loves the community. And I give my highest recommendation to this group, and I hope that the board makes the right decision and takes a group that lives locally and gives them the operating license that they deserve. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. That is the last speaker that I have that has signed up. We'll now move.
Chair Chavez?
Yes.
We actually see that there are a couple others. So just to point these out in no particular order, I see Vanessa Hernandez as a member of the public that signed up, or actually a member of the FGH team that signed up. I also see Nancy Lindholm had signed up for this one, and Andrew Salinas has signed up, and Brian Barber has signed up. So if you need assistance with those names again, we could help negotiate, lead you through that.
So the list that I have did not have Ms. Hernandez on it, and the other ones, Salinas, Barbara, and Lindholm, weren't on the call. And I believe Ms. Lindholm and our Madam Secretary can correct me. I believe Ms. Lindholm requested to be removed so she can save her comments to the continued item. I believe that was in the chat. Because I didn't see any other ones, I was gonna go ahead and do the 3-minute pause, and then whoever requested raise hands, unless you want me to just go ahead and take Ms. Hernandez and then do the 3 minutes. I'll look to staff for direction.
Chair Chavez, Vanessa Hernandez has raised her hand, so we would say she should be able to speak at this point in time. And then as I look at our recording secretary D, the other individuals I mentioned are not on the call at this point.
Yes, correct. The other people who signed up are not on the call right now.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to Ms. Hernandez for 3 minutes.
Good evening, Oxnard Planning Commissioners and Oxnard City staff. I'm Vanessa Hernandez, CEO with FGH Retail. We're very much looking forward to sharing about our proposed dispensary, our team, which is 100% locally managed, and the multiple ways we serve our community. Let me say that Oxnard being our hometown and donating and giving to our community is something we truly enjoy. And hearing all the comments made really warms our heart because, as they were saying, it's something we truly do. We have been doing this for years, and to be able to do it now under FGH and Tree Factory is really motivating to do even more. Our team is 100% locally managed, and we actually live just a few miles from our proposed location. This is essentially our neighborhood, and what happens at this location personally affects us. As locals born and raised in Oxnard, of course we're going to be good neighbors. And most importantly, we're going to be good representatives as residents of the city of Oxnard. And thank you again, commissioners and city staff, and we look forward to October 13th, where we can elaborate on all the details. Thank you again. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez, for your comments. So at this time, we'll go ahead and do our 3-minute pause to allow any members to wish to jump into our meeting this evening and provide comments for this item. This item is F3, FGH Retail Services LLC, Commercial Cannabis Business Retail Special Use Permit. That would be located at 2320 North Rose Avenue. Again, you can email our Commission Secretary, planning@oxnard.org, or by visiting the city's website to fill out the speaker form. So we'll have our less than 3 minutes now of twiddling our thumbs and humming show tunes.
And Chair Chavez, we're 2/3 of the way through the 3 minutes, and we have not had any takers yet for last minute comments as part of the public hearing.
Thank you for that, Mr. Kowitz. Okay, so
Chair Chavez, we do not have any signups.
I appreciate that, Madam Secretary. So we will close, or not close. I have to turn to staff to figure out, it's not closing, but we also haven't taken the motion to continue it, so.
Chair Chavez, my recommendation is that the chair entertain a motion to continue this item to the date certain of October 13th at 6:30 PM to a special planning commission meeting.
I appreciate that, Mr. Rosell. So Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. And I will make the motion that we continue this request for a special use permit number 21-516-36 to the date certain of October 13th, Wednesday night at 6:30 in a special meeting, I believe Mr. Rosell said.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved in second to continue public hearing item FGH Retail Services LLC, Commercial Cannabis Business Retail Special Use Permit, Planning and Zoning Permit number 21-516-36 to a date certain of October 13th at 6:30 PM. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none. And just for staff, our vice chair had recused himself for any vote on this item. So, Madam Secretary, if we can have the roll call, please.
Commissioner Nash,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ovejo. Recused. Chair Chavez.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So that item has been continued to our October 13th special meeting. So we'll go ahead and move to our next item, which is item F4, project name HPC of Oxnard LLC, Commercial Cannabis Business Retail Special Use Permit, Planning and Zoning Permit number 21-516-41. A request to permit the operation of a commercial cannabis facility within an existing 2,761 square foot commercial suite of a 5,950 square foot multi-tenant commercial building on a 1.03 acre site located at 360 West Esplanade Drive within the general commercial plan development zone. Proposed development includes tenant improvements, installation of interior wall, partitioning, plumbing upgrades, upgrades to existing fire alarm system, security upgrades to the existing building, and installation of a new secure doors and windows. Cannabis retail operations will be conducted between the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. This is filed by Beth Tuna, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. City planner, our associate planner, city staff is Jose Cole. So at this time, again, we won't be taking any questions or comments or deliberations from the applicant, from commissioners, and we will open the public hearing for this item.
And Chair Chavez, this is Scott Kolwitz chiming in here again. Just in case there's any members of the public that are tuning in to this meeting for this item in particular and missed the conversation earlier in the meeting. This item, staff is recommending that we continue this item to a date certain. Early in the meeting, we informally queried when our planning commissioners may be available for a special meeting, and they indicated that October 13th at 6:30 p.m. they would be available. And with this item being continued from tonight to a future meeting, the applicant team would not be giving a formal presentation, but the applicant and any members of the public could provide public comment at 3 minutes apiece as part of our public hearing process. And ultimately, we'll be looking for a motion from the Planning Commission to formally continue this item. So with that, Chair, I would like to turn it back over to you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Colwitz. So again, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing portion of this item. Madam Secretary, I know we have 4 people that signed up, but I do not see them on the call.
Yes, that's correct. We don't have anybody on the call for this item.
Okay.
Uh,
So-
Sorry, I am.
For F4?
Correct, Chair. Bethuna on the phone is on the applicant team.
No, that was Christina that spoke up. Christina, are you wanting to speak on F4 as well?
Yes, I did submit a comment.
Okay, I didn't see your name on that. So we'll go ahead and go with you first, and then we'll go with Beth second. For F4, this is again for HPC of Oxnard LLC for 3 minutes. Christina?
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners. Here I am again. I'm representing Friends of Ormond Beach, and I'm here to ask you to grant HPC a license to operate its cannabis dispensary business in the city of Oxnard. I base my opinion on the 2 years that I have worked with the owner, Bethuna. I met Bethuna in 2019 when my organization, Friends of Ormond Beach, first began. In that year, the Ventura Audubon Society suffered a great loss of property around the Ormond Lagoon. Signs, posts, and bird monitoring equipment were stolen and fences were repurposed by the homeless living in the dunes. Cynthia Hartley of the Ventura Audubon Society did not know how she was going to recover the costs. Friends of Ormond Beach stepped in to help, and I reached out to several of the cannabis dispensary owners in Port Hueneme, and Bethuna was the first to respond. She told me over the phone that she recognized the importance of the wildlife in Oxnard, and shortly thereafter, the Ventura Audubon Society received a generous donation from HPC. This kind of tells you what kind of person she is. I'm confident that if Friends of Ormond Beach ever needed help around the lagoon or Ormond Beach area, that HPC would come to assist us. As a Port Hueneme resident, I can attest to the fact that HPC has remained a reputable business. Ms. Thuna runs a professional business, and I have never witnessed nor heard of any activity that would sully her business reputation or bring harm to the city of Port Hueneme. As a side note, Ms. Thuna is one of the few business women in the cannabis industry, and she is well respected in Port Hueneme. I urge the Planning Committee to grant HPC a business license to operate in the city of Oxnard. Bethuna will bring to Oxnard the experience that she's garnered from Port Hueneme. She will also invest in the city of Oxnard and in the wetlands, which need protecting, as I indicated earlier, especially now since Orange County's wetlands have been destroyed by the oil spill. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you again for your comments. We'll go now to Ms. Thuna for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Chavez and esteemed commissioners. I hope that you can hear me. This is Beth Thuna,
Yes.
the co-founder and CEO of HPC of Oxnard. We're really pleased to be here to introduce HPC to you and the community, and we're excited to share our vision for enhancing the well-being of all our stakeholders in Oxnard. And we understand that the agenda will be pushed to next week, where we'll be excited to show you a detailed presentation related to our project and how we plan to operate a cannabis dispensary in Oxnard. So until then, we look forward to continuing to work with the city staff on our project within the city of Oxnard, and look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for your comments. At this time, we will pause for 3 minutes to allow any members of the public to join our meeting. And once again, this item is F4 HPC of Oxnard that would be located at 360 West Esplanade Drive in Oxnard. If you request to speak on this item, please email planning@oxnard.org or by visiting the city's website to fill out the speaker form. Of course, any members that are currently on the call that wish to speak may do so by using the raise hand feature. So we will wait. Thank you.
Chair, I'm going to get too used to grabbing a snack during these 3 minutes, and I don't know what I'm going to do when we get back in person.
Right, we won't have those 3 minutes.
I know. It's nice to just go grab a snack real quick and come back, because this one's not too long, but as we know, sometimes we go a little late.
I'm telling you, we need some type of music, one that won't get our city in trouble for copyrights, but we need something to pass the time.
We could ask our friends at Amazon what they want to let us borrow.
I don't know about that. That might be crossing the line, but definitely something to talk about.
And Chair Chavez just chiming in here as we've crossed the 2-minute threshold. We haven't received any comments as of yet, or any requests to speak as of yet.
Thank you, Mr. Colwitz. Okay,
Chair Chavez, there's nobody signed up.
thank you for that, Madam Secretary. Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. So once again, I would move that we continue this request for a special use permit number 21-516-41 to a date certain of October 13th, Wednesday night at 6:30 in a special meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second to continue the item HPC of Oxnard LLC Commercial Cannabis Business Retail Special Use Permit Planning and Zoning Permit number 21-516-41 to a date certain of October 13th, 6:30 p.m. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, if we can have the roll call, please.
Commissioner Nash,
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Chair Chavez,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you for that. We'll now go ahead and continue to our next item, study session reports. We have nothing listed there. Planning Commission business. Commissioners, anything to report or to share with the commission at this time? Commissioner Conley.
I just wanted to give a thank you to both of our applicants that we postponed. I know that this is a long and stressful process, and I just wanted to thank them for their patience and preparedness for this meeting, and for opening up their schedules to be accommodating to ours to come back next week. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Echoing Commissioner Conley's comments there, not only to our applicants, but certainly also always appreciative of staff, their hard work, as well as the recommendations that they bring to us. On different note, just wanted to remind everyone and members of the public who are still tuned in with us, there is going to be a COVID-19 mobile vaccination clinic this Saturday being put on by a number number of folks, including the Oxnard LULAC Council, Ventura County Public Health, the Councilwoman Vianey Lopez, as well as Oxnard School District Catalina Martinez, and Oxnard Union High School District Trustee Elizabeth Botello, and a couple of other folks, the 5 Points Neighborhood Council, the Cal Giesler Neighborhood Council. And so this is going to happen this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Free, fast, and safe. It was posted on the city's social media channels earlier. So if you can all just help spread the word to your extended networks, just another great opportunity for folks who typically cannot make the regular during the week normal business hours because of work or perhaps transportation challenges. This one will be a special weekend mobile vaccine clinic that the county and partners are doing to try and outreach to our community. Again, this Saturday, 9 to 11 at Elm Street School, which is in the Cal Giesler neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Lopez. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. On a lighter note, I would ask our Mr. Colwitz if that lightning storm had a special use permit.
Chair Nash and members of the commission know that storm operated without the benefit of permit.
There seems there needs to be some consequences for that. Any additional comments from the commission? Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. I actually just wanted to extend Commissioner Connolly's comments to also all the members of the public that came out to comment on items F3 and F4. And we appreciate your opining, and we welcome you to join us for the special meeting to continue those items on the 13th at 6:30.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional comments? I'll just add a couple, echoing my fellow commissioners. I encourage all of those that spoke tonight to come and speak again at our next meeting. You have that opportunity. And thank you to everyone that took time out of their days, or their evening, to be with us. I'll just mention that this year is a very busy year as redistricting is not only affecting our city, but the county, the state. So there is a lot of public hearings that will be taking place. Oxnard's next public hearing is on Monday, December 6th. So mark your calendars. That's public hearing number 3. And you can visit the city's website at oxnard.org/redistricting. The County of Ventura will be selecting a map. Also, I believe it's December 15th. So if you have opportunities, you can still submit maps that how the districts for the county supervisors should be drawn. On another note, for all those Oxnard School District, elementary school district parents, on October 11th, there will be no school. So it's in-staff training. And that's pretty much it from me. So I appreciate everyone's hard work, staff and the public for joining us, and all the work that my commissioners do. If there's no further comments from the commission, we will switch to staff updates. Mr. Colwitz.
Chair Chavez and members of the Planning Commission, I just have 6 quick hits for you. So I wanted to start off with this last city council meeting. They took action on 2 items that you've been involved with. So the first one that I'm going to share with you was the Peninsula Road street vacationing. They approved that street vacationing, and what that does is it sets in motion the ability for the Casa Serena Hotel to be demolished and replaced with a Hyatt Hotel. So we're looking forward to that coming forward and hopefully it's breaking ground soon. I don't have a timing for that for all of you, but this was really one of the last pieces of the puzzle. So I think that's good news for all of us. The big item for all of you on October 5th was the housing element. The city council reviewed it and they approved it as submitted to them. So thank you for all of your hard work on that item. In addition to the housing element itself being adopted that evening, they also took action on the ordinance amendments that had been proposed. And they conducted the first reading of those, passed it as submitted to them. And that's coming back to the City Council on the 19th for the second reading. All the ordinances would go into effect 30 days after that. So that's going to lay the foundation for quite a few exciting housing projects we believe definitely within the next 8-year cycle, and hopefully some of those on the near-term side of those 8 years. Looking forward, October 19th, the City Council is going to be reviewing the firearms item, conducting their second reading of the firearms ordinance that you had all previously reviewed. At their prior meeting, when they considered it, they did adopt it, as well as the Planning Commission had sent it up to them. So you're doing a lot of really good work, and the City Council is passing the items as you sent it up to them. Taking a step back and looking at the month of October, the month of October is actually National Community Planning Month. And I just wanted to acknowledge all the work that you do as planning commissioners, volunteering your time, diving into voluminous reports that we send your way, engaging the public, making it a comfortable and safe place for people who may have never engaged with government before, not only participate, but actually feel like their voices have been heard because you take them all seriously. So with that, thank you on behalf of staff. We can't do it without you, and we absolutely appreciate what you do on a daily or weekly, bi-weekly basis here with us. So with that, thank you. As I look into the future, I wanted to look into November 17th, LAFCO, the Local Agency Formation Commission, has notified us that is the hearing date they've specified for the Rio Urbana annexation project. This is the redevelopment of the El Rio School that is closed right now on Vineyard. The Planning Commission previously reviewed that with the annexation. If it is adopted as we are anticipating and hoping LAFCO will act, that'll set in motion a 167-unit condominium development, as well as a 15,000 square foot office building. So we'll keep you posted on that as that draw nears. And then the last item I have is your next meeting, as you all know now, is a special meeting next week on Wednesday. Thank you for bending your calendars to beat on an off day. And then your next regular meeting will be October 21st. So with that, thank you in all sincerity, and we look forward to playing with all of you at those two meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Kowitz. Is there any questions for Mr. Kowitz? Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Chair Chavez. Actually, no question. Just wanted to return back the gratitude to our city planners and to you yourself for the hard work that you do in honor of this month. I know that the minutia, even for the most technical of us, can be challenging, and while I know that's the work that you signed up to do, it doesn't make it any easier. So we appreciate all your good work on behalf of the city.
It takes a team, and I'll share that with all of my team members. So thank you.
I will just say that I know I'm very difficult to work with, so I apologize to all of you guys. But I echo Commissioner Meyer's comments. So is there any additional questions or comments from the commission? Since there's no further business before the commission, and if there's no objection to adjourning, we will be adjourning to our special meeting next week, Wednesday, October 13th at 6:30 p.m. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Good evening, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you on Wednesday.